You'll be coming to my wedding too, right, Emmy? I made sure to send you an invitation as well.
Well, of course I'm coming. And now that we're talking about your wedding, have you gone and picked out what dress you're going to wear on your special day, Monica?
Yep, I've already decided.
And that dress isn't some kind of a raggedy dress, right?
Raggedy? I'm sure I already explained this to you before, but that dress is a family heirloom. I'm sure that the design is pretty old compared to what people wear today, but I think it looks beautiful.
No way. No way. This wedding is going to be all about you, Monica. There are plenty of really cute rental dresses that you could be choosing from, yet you want to use that old and smelly dress? Your family is very wealthy, right? Why don't you have them pay for you to get a dress of your own design made? And then, when your wedding is over with, you can give me that dress, please. Just as long as the design you choose for your dress is something I really like.
I'm sorry, but I'm sticking with my family's dress. You can continue telling me to get a modern and fresh dress all you want, but I plan on wearing the heirloom dress, and that's final.
You have all that money at your disposal. You want to act like a penny pincher? You're so done for. All I've been trying to do is give you the advice you need in order to avoid becoming embarrassed.
Embarrassed?
If you wear that old and stinky dress at that wedding, you're going to be embarrassing my brother. And not only my brother, but the rest of his family, and your family as well. Is that something you're really wanting to do to everyone?
I really don't think you need to be saying something like that.
No, I have to say something like that. Because if I don't, you're going to make the wrong choice and ruin everyone's day. Oh, that's right. I plan on giving a little performance at the wedding as well. So please, look forward to what I have in mind. I'm sure it's going to make everyone laugh. And you might even get a kick out of it too. Monica, are you not coming back to the wedding venue anymore? If the main star of the show isn't going to stick around, then this whole wedding is going to be ruined.
How can you be so calm after what's just happened to me? Do you not have any thoughts going through your head right now that maybe you did something very wrong? And not even maybe, because you did do something completely unacceptable.
Is this about that cake I threw into your face? That was just a simple performance I gave. I told you already that I had a performance to give you on your wedding day, right? And look, it even made my older brother who was standing right next to you laugh.
And his reaction was also uncalled for. Jake, what's happened with him? Is he still with you?
Jake? He just started to think about the face you made again and is laughing his butt off.
That asshole. People like you. Why did it take me having to put together a whole wedding to realize the kind of people you all are?
Say whatever you'd like, just as long as you hurry up and get back here. Just change your dress or something, and put on some new makeup while you're at it.
Things aren't going to be that simple anymore, Emmy. Because of you, my dress is completely covered in cake and is pretty much ruined.
You're still going to get all worried about an old dress like that? It's fine! Just throw the dang thing into the closet trash can and get back here. It's not like you're going to be wearing that thing anymore, right?
I'm not going back to that place.
Huh? What are you saying there then, Monica? You're already in your 30s and are getting married finally, so don't start saying very regretful things like that, you old hag. Or could it be this? Do you need me to apologize for what happened before you can come back? Well, I'm so sorry for throwing a massive cake into your face on your wedding day. But come on now. Everyone in the place was laughing, so that means the performance I put on was a hit, right?
I'm not going to forgive you for what you did, and that apology was the most shallow thing I've heard from you so far, so I'm not accepting it. I'll have you know that my whole family is heading home now. You and your family can decide what to do after everyone on my side of the family is gone.
You're so narrow-minded. I am being so apologetic right now as well. And by the way, abandoning your own wedding after it's already started makes for a bad wife.
Are you alright, Monica? Have you had a chance to calm down any?
Yes, I just got back home now and am calming down.
I'm really happy that after something like that, you got the chance to go back home.
And I'd love to stick around, but I think that I should start grabbing all my things and getting myself ready to leave this place. Jake already told me that he's heading back to his parents' house now, so this is my only chance to get out of this house.
You make a very good point. If you'd like, I can be over there tomorrow to help out. Would you want that?
No, you don't have to. I don't have all that much stuff in this house right now.
As long as you think you can handle all of that, then that's fine. What I'd like to know now is what the hell happened here? Even Jake was standing there laughing at you, and not a single person from his family came up to apologize to you after.
I know. I'm at a loss of words right now. I should have been more careful. Up until now, Jake and his whole family all seemed like really good people. I mean, I suppose that Emmy's always been a bit of a problem child. But at the very least, Jake and his mother were both such kind people to me.
I'm sure they were at the time. I even assumed they were all great people when we got together to meet one another for the first time. And yet now?
Is Grandma okay? Oh, she's not in complete shock because of all this.
I don't think she's in shock anymore. Rather, she's just furious about what happened now. And I'm with her on that.
I'm sure the both of you are.
Monica, I just wanted to say that you were not to blame for any of this. So please, don't get down about any of it. And start doing the things that you have to do.
All right. Thank you, Mom.
Monica, are you seriously going to divorce my older brother now? You had your wedding with him yesterday, right?
I'm serious about the divorce. He sat there and watched the woman he said he supposedly loved take a cake to her face. And instead of coming to comfort and help, he stood there laughing like he didn't even know me. I think it's going to be pretty much impossible for me to live the rest of my life with a man like that now.
Well, you wanting a divorce is totally fine with me. But Monica, you know what this means, right?
What means?
If you're going to be the one pushing for a divorce, then that means you're the one at fault, right? You'll have to pay a settlement to my brother, all right? And since your family is loaded with money, you'll have to make sure to pay him a lot.
So you're going to say that I'm the one at fault for this and then shift the blame onto me? Please, don't get involved in something like this, Emmy, because you have no idea what you're talking about.
You were the head of the show last night, and yet you ran off. And instead of coming back to finish up the wedding like a good sport, you left the whole wedding entirely, right?
And the ones who ended up ruining the whole wedding were you guys, right? And you can't keep using the excuse of being drunk to fight back. You think drunk drivers get away with excuses like that?
Why are you getting all upset now? I said this yesterday, but what I did got everyone laughing, so what is the problem here?
You thought you got everyone laughing? Did you not hear all the gasps from everyone then? That was not everyone laughing about what you did to me, but everyone in shock as they watched the bride take a cake to the face.
Wow, you older women really have a lot of issues with being hysteric. I'm kind of happy now that you're no longer going to be my older sister.
I feel the same way. I'm so happy that you no longer have to be my sister-in-law. But there's still a lot left to do with you, like chewing you out for what you did. I already had a talk with Jake about how unacceptable he was acting, but you played a part in this and need to be held responsible for that. You can act like you were drunk or didn't mean any harm, but that's not going to help you any.
Sure. I love listening to sore losers cry. Congratulations on getting that divorce you were wanting. I no longer have to call you my family, right?
What do you want from me? I no longer have the patience to sit here and listen to you go on and on about meaningless crap since you're no longer family to me.
Oh, come on now. Don't be such a stick in the mud. From what Jake has been telling me, you've been completely ignoring all his calls and texts. You can't just cut him off like that the moment you get a divorce, alright?
I'm not ignoring him because I want to. I'm ignoring him because he keeps going on about some of the most ridiculous things that I'm having a hard time understanding.
You can cut it out with the excuses now. How about you just give him what he is asking for, Monica?
So you're telling me you actually understand what he's saying? We weren't even married for a month, and yet he's asking me to give him half of my savings as part of a splitting of our properties.
I know that. And what about him asking that is ridiculous or wrong to you?
When it comes to something like the shared properties of a married couple, such as their house and their money, that only applies to things earned or bought after the marriage. In other words, any kind of savings and such that was obtained before the marriage is off limits.
What? But Jake told me that he'd be getting at least half from you. He told me that you had so much money in your savings that he couldn't even count it, and that once you guys got the divorce, he'd be able to get half of it. And that's why we made it easy for you to get that divorce you were talking about. I believed he was telling me the truth about getting half of your money, and that's why I went and threw the cake at you.
You guys made it easy for me to divorce Jake? What are you talking about?
From the start, my brother was never into you like that. He never loved you, and he sure as hell wasn't wanting to get married to a woman like you. But he was aware of the money you have. So the plan was for him to marry you, and then immediately divorce you after. And once that happened, he would get access to half of everything you have, including your money. He told me it was the easiest play in the book.
So that's what this was all about? I see. Well, that's too bad. Just like I was explaining to you, things like my savings from before we got married are off limits to him now.
No way. I was told by Jake that we'd be getting hundreds of thousands from you, so I could buy whatever I wanted to. And that's why I went out and bought all of the high-end jewelry I had been wanting. Yet now, I'm having to be told the truth by you? Monica, you went and lied to the both of us.
I don't even remember a thing about me lying to you. This is all because of you not doing your own research and just blindly believing whatever your older brother told you. And where you've ended up now is exactly where you deserve to be. Sucks that you went out and spent all that money on jewelry, but that's your problem, not mine.
Then you don't have to give us that money through the divorce, but as a settlement.
If you would like me to pay you guys a settlement, then get yourself a lawyer and take me to court over it. Although I'm not sure there are going to be any lawyers fighting for you with the reasons you both have.
Why not?
Because based off what you just told me, you are never going to be winning a case against me. Lawyers aren't some kind of superhero, you know. You'd be asking them to change something that is naturally black into something that's naturally white. And that's almost impossible.
God damn it. Well, whatever. I have something else up my sleeve. This is Jake's little sister, Emmy. I was able to get your number from my brother, and so I decided to text you with it. And you are Monica's mother, right?
Emmy, what do you want with me? After what you did to my daughter, I don't see how you have any nerve to be talking with me right now.
I have something to ask you, and that's why I needed to text you. Because Monica is such a stinky little jerk. Jake and I aren't able to get any of her savings or a settlement from her. As a wealthy woman yourself, you would never allow her to be so stingy, right?
I'm not really sure what basis you have for saying something like that, but I have heard a lot from Monica today. All you guys think about is money and nothing else, right? I wonder why she was never able to realize that before getting married to your greedy brother. I should have been able to notice something myself, actually. There were all those moments before Jake and her got married, and even then I didn't notice a thing. Had I known that when you guys were after, I would have saved my daughter from staining her reputation in a way.
It really does stink that you guys were never able to notice what we were planning. Now, how was it? Jake's and my fine performance.
You are all fools. Acting like you couldn't make money through something like hard work and patience. You are more than welcome to call this family wealthy. But because of our wealth, that has done nothing but bring sadness upon my daughter in so many ways. She has been lied to before by plenty of men and led to believe things that were never true in the end. And when she finally found a man she truly felt would not care about things like her family's wealth, she married him, only to find out soon after that he was the worst of them all. And that's your brother Jake I'm talking about. We even made sure to look into your brother to see if he has any prior issues, but he had a clean slate. That's why my husband and I allowed him to marry her. But now we've learned that it wasn't just him behind all of this, but you and the rest of your filthy family as well.
I don't think you should be calling all of us filthy like that. We weren't trying to fool you all or anything. It's just that Jake, myself, and the rest of the family wanted to make you guys our never-ending line of cash.
Whichever way you put it, you guys were only in this so that you could use my daughter. You guys thought you had her in the bag too after Jake and her went to the courthouse and all started to buy so many expensive things, thinking you'd get her money.
So you heard about that little detail as well then? Well, that's right. I went and got myself a bunch of jewelry, and Jake got himself a brand new supercar. All things to make us look rich. So all we just need you guys to do is pay up. And that can be with a settlement, or with half of Monica's money, or with a donation event. It doesn't matter how you do it, just as long as we get our money, please.
You have no clue what you're even going on about. If you had any common sense at all, and put that to good use here, you'd understand that it's Monica who has the right to get a settlement from you.
What? What are you wanting to say there?
Did you guys forget that the wedding, which took place a couple of days ago, was paid for by us?
Now that you mention it, I do remember hearing something like that. But what does that have to do with anything?
Right now, we are talking with a lawyer regarding what's happened. And if we are able to prove that you and Jake are at fault, we will be able to make the both of you pay for everything.
Huh? You're kidding, right? We'd have to pay for everything? How much would that be?
We went ahead and made this wedding as expensive as possible, as was Jake's request. So you're looking at $50,000.
We have no way of paying that kind of money. Are you a freaking dumbass?
Excuse me? Is that what you call yourself now? I kind of like that name. Dumbass. Well, it suits you and your brother perfectly after what kind of foolish crap you pulled without even putting a thought into what the outcome would be. I'll start calling you Dumbass 1, and your brother can be Dumbass 2.
This is why I hate old bitches like you, always taking little cracks at people like that. I'm being yelled at by my mom and dad now. They are all blaming me for being the reason they all have to pay for the whole wedding. I am the whole reason things turned out like this, because of me throwing that cake in your face. That was what my brother told me to do to you, though, and my parents all agreed with it. They're all going to cut ties to me now if I don't do something. Even if they want to blame me for everything, this was all your fault to begin with.
If you're still blaming me at this point in time, that must mean your brain has completely stopped working.
So you're going to pick on me again, huh? I hate the both of you.
And I really don't care how people as low as you think of us. It's not like you have to see us ever again, right?
Well, if you don't want us seeing you ever again, then stop trying to make us pay for that wedding.
That has nothing to do with you guys and us. That has to do with the responsibility your family now has after what you all did.
If this is how you're going to treat me, then I'm going to go online and tell everyone what you've done to us. Then everyone who feels sympathy for my family and I will rally with us and make sure you pay for what you've done.
You really think there are others out there that would sympathize with you? I've already talked with plenty of people already about what you guys had done to me, and so far, not a single one of them has sided with you. And what about your friends that you've spoken with? Did any of them say they felt for you?
None of them did. But that's just because they all don't understand.
That's not true. They do understand what you did, but they know better than to side with a couple of bad eggs.
You're calling us bad eggs now? All I freaking did was hit you in the face with a cake. That was it. Yet now you're taking all of that way too far.
You're asking me that? Not only did you guys deceive me and try to get my money, but in the end, the most heartbreaking thing for me of all was that you, Emmy, you ruined that dress.
Are you actually that screwed in the head? And you getting so upset over an old and stinky dress getting a little bit messy makes no sense to me.
That dress which you keep calling old and stinky and said was raggedy before, do you have any idea how expensive it is? Because if you did, you would never say anything like that about it.
You want me to tell you how much I think it's worth? At the very most, $100.
I don't think any dress could be worth that little. That dress was my grandma's, which she bought while she was on vacation in France. It's from one of the most famous brands in the world and is worth more than you've ever made in your life. Back in the day, it was worth $10,000, which in today's money is around $70,000. It's considered an antique now because that brand is no longer around, which only triples that price.
What? I never knew that.
Even if you didn't know what the price of a dress like that was, you knew just how important that dress was to me and to my family. Yet you still had the freaking nerve to ruin it in front of my whole entire family. That dress was first worn by my grandmother, and then she passed it on to my mom, who passed it on to me. Recently, my grandma hasn't been doing too well, so one of the last memories I wanted to give her was that of me wearing her wedding dress. But you came in and not only crushed my dreams, but crushed my grandma's dreams as well. I was going to refrain from trying to completely destroy you, but the moment I realized that you would never learn your lesson until the whole entire world crumpled around you, I knew I had to fight. So I'm going to make sure you pay for this dress to be cleaned.
What? What the hell? You think the cost of cleaning that dress is going to bother me? That'll only be a couple $100, right? If that's all I'm going to have to pay out of my pocket, I could do that in my sleep.
Did you already forget what I was just saying? The dress is an antique. A couple $100 to clean it up just isn't going to cut it.
What?
And if the cleaning isn't able to take care of all the staining, then what will happen? Oh, you'll have to pay for the dress that you destroyed.
No way. I already have to help pay for the wedding.
This is what you and your family asked for, though. So don't complain to me about the price that has to be paid for screwing around like that.
No. Monica, please don't be so cruel to me. I will make sure to learn my lesson and change. If I have to pay that kind of money, I'll have to go into debt. And that kind of debt at my age, my life will be over with.
You think I'm listening to you right now? You went and ruined my family's heirloom dress and laughed about it like something worth over $200,000 being ruined wasn't going to bother me. How about you go and ask your family to all take responsibility for that debt, and then you can all pay it off together?
They're not going to listen to me anymore. Monica, what do I have to do for you to get you to stop asking for us to pay you so much?
You could always off yourself. Then your family would have to pay me for everything instead, and you would no longer have to worry. But besides that, there is nothing you can do for me now. I'm a pretty heartless person after all, so those are your only options. I don't care which one you choose as long as I get the money I'm owed. Now please sit around and wait with your family while my lawyer gets all their things together and gives you guys a call. And please, don't ever call or text me again.
Monica, please. Please, no way. I don't want to have to pay that much. I can't pay that much. What should I do right now?
Today's my day off, so I'm going to come over to your guys' place for a bit.
All right. We'll be waiting for you. Your grandma is really looking forward to seeing you today.
And I can't wait to come out and see her smiling face again. But the way her dress ended up getting ruined, I feel so bad for what's happened.
Your grandma told you not to worry about any of that anymore, right? She's just happy to hear that you were able to cut ties from those monsters. And she actually believes that dress was like a blessing for you, because it showed you what evils awaited you and cleansed them from your life. I believe the same thing now too. So please stop worrying about it and focus on making a safe trip over here.
All right, I can do that. And thank you, Mom.
I know that it probably hurts to have been stabbed in the back again by a man that you loved. So for a little while, can you please just focus on what makes you happy and not finding yourself a man? You can do that for a little while, right?
Sure, I suppose I can stay single for just a little while longer. I'm not sure how things all went during that phone call between my lawyer and Jake's family, but I know that from what my lawyer told me afterwards is that not a single person was wanting to take responsibility for what had happened to the dress and to that wedding. However, when my lawyer started to go over all the things that would happen to them if they did not settle things out of court, that they'd most likely never be living free of any debt ever again. After that, it seemed as though the parents at least started to listen. But even my lawyer was a bit worried during the conversation whether or not they really understood how serious he was being. But in the end, I learned that they all did listen to what my lawyer was saying and would be willing to pay for the whole wedding and have Emmy pay for the dress. After that conversation with my lawyer, though, that family got right back to it, fighting over whose fault all of this was. And I heard that they went through weeks of fighting over who was to be held responsible and who would have to end up paying the most. At some points during their never-ending fight, the police were called because of a noise complaint and a worry that somebody in their house was being attacked. And so when the police did arrive to check up on what was going on, they saw behind Jake, who had answered the door, that Emmy had this massive black eye and was crying. Jake and his dad were placed under arrest then, under the suspicion that one of them had hurt Emmy. But it was later found out that it was Emmy's mom who did that to her, and so she would be forced to leave the house for a while to get some help. This ended up forcing Emmy to have to drop out of college and start looking for a full-time job, because she was definitely not off the hook after getting punched and was going to have to pay for that dress of mine still. And as for Jake's and her dad, he had to stop thinking about retirement and get back to work in order to help pay for the wedding he and his wife agreed was okay to ruin. Jake himself began to look bad in the eyes of all his friends when they learned the truth, forcing them all to leave his side, and soon he found he had no place at the office anymore either. This then led to him quitting his job and leaving town to find work and friends who had not heard about what happened elsewhere. A few months later, I would end up receiving the money that was asked for from the dress they ruined, and the wedding would be paid off in full. Now, whether that was all paid off using loans or using money from some other unspecified source, I'm not sure. But something tells me that the family is not going to have a great future anymore. As for myself and what happened after, I got back to working hard and saved up more money. And while I was working a lot more again, I went out for lunch with some of my old colleagues whom I hadn't had time to talk with for so long. He never really knew anything about my family and their wealth, but still treated me with the respect I knew that I deserved. So after a few months of him and I just chatting at work and going out for lunch, my heart started to beat more vigorously again. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.